Greetings traders to the Polaris Trading Group's PTG University video series. Today's video we're going to focus on the PTG ATA, which stands for Auto Trade Assistant. And the pre-release video we're going to look at is for the NinjaTrader platform. Now the ATA has already been released for our Sierra chart customers. We're currently in the process of coding for TradeStation. And this particular video we're going to focus on NinjaTrader, which we expect to soon release by December 1st. The sample trades we're going to take a look at today are for the S&P 500 E-mini futures, and the trade date was this past Friday, November 13th, 2015. The tick size of the chart we were executing off of is the 750 tick, and again today is November 15th, 2015. But before we get to the demo video, NFA Rule Compliance 2-29C simply states that hypothetical performance results have many inherent limitations, some of which described below. One of the limitations of hypothetical performance results is that they are generally prepared with the benefit of hindsight, as we are doing here in our video, and hypothetical trading does not involve financial risk. Trading in futures and options on futures is speculative in nature and involves substantial risk of loss, so you should carefully consider whether this trading is suitable in light of your circumstances, knowledge, and financial resources. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Okay, so with that disclaimer behind us, let's get set up here on the NinjaTrader platform to show our new Auto Trade Assistant tool. Okay, so we have a 750 tick chart here of the S&P E-mini futures, and what I have done here is I've set up a scenario whereby price had made a move to the upside, has since come back down, and there is a shift in the marketplace. So you can see where this vertical line is, there is a bearish shift unfolding, and what we're going to be doing here is looking for premium short signals for the afternoon session. You can see right here where these series of discounts signals were, various white bars, never got triggered in long. Okay, and then we had a shift, bearish shift. So at this stage of price action, our traders and the thought processes, we would be looking for new opportunities to short price rather than go long. So the setup here is, if you take a look on the top left, we have our status box for our PTG ATA. Currently it's disabled. We're going to enable it in a moment, but prior to that, I just wanted to highlight for the max dollar risk we're going to use on these examples is $300. Now most of our traders are anywhere between $200 and $300 risk per trade, and this is a good representation of that. Currently the tool is in static mode, and again we'll switch that over to dynamic in a moment. And the entry style here, there's two entry styles that we use for this particular tool. One is a buy or sell stop entry, which we'll be using today. And the other option is a market order. So essentially both entry styles take advantage of market orders. We do not enter trades on limit orders. Always on a market, whether it's a buy or sell stop, which translates into a market order, or a straight out market order itself. So that's the setup of our example here. So what we'll do here to enable the tool, we're going to right click here and we're going to go, we want to enable sell only. All right, there's a few options here, enable buy only. All right, but since we want to look for premium sell short setups, we're going to enable sell only. And also what this means is that if there is a buy signal that it develops in the course where we're looking for a sell, the tool will not take the buy signal, only simply look for the sell signal only. Okay, so in essence we cannot counter trend trade. The algorithm will not allow us to counter trend trade. Okay, so let's enable that sell only up here, and then what we're going to do is we're going to change it from static to dynamic turbo. Okay, there's two settings here, dynamic turbo and dynamic standard. The turbo tends to give us a little bit more frequent Trade opportunities, the standard, a few less, though the standard ones tend to work out in a larger degree. But we'll take a look at the dynamic turbo. Okay, so we're going to set it on dynamic turbo. All right, and what we'll do is here, just going to quickly go into the settings here. All right, just to show you what we're actually doing is on the parameters. Okay, the entry, we can essentially enable or disable what we call continuous mode or per trade. All right, what continuous mode is simply is when we enable it and instruct it to seek for sell setups only, it will continuously run until we manually disable it. The other option is, which is our default option, is per trade. So simply, once you enable the tool, once it executes a trade, it will automatically disable once it's entered the trade. So the end user needs to re-enable it for the very next trade. So there's some options there. And then in terms of once we're into a trade and we're scaling out, we're going to use a 25% scale out scheme. So at risk-free, we're going to sell out 25%. All right, exit on 25%, target 1, target 2, and eventually target 3, all equal parameters. The other option there, where many of our traders use, is sell 50% of our initial position at the risk-free point, and then use a scaling schematic for the balance, target 1, target 2, target 3. But for this example, we'll just use equal weightings at 25% each. Okay, so let's just get going on it. Now again, I am going to bring in the replay tool here. As you can see, this is Friday, November 13th, 2015. We're going to start at about 12:38 Eastern Time in the afternoon. Okay, and again, the setup is we'll be looking for premium signals. So we have pretty much everything established. We're going to re-enable it here for a moment. So we're going to re-enable on the sell side, turbo, and stop entries. So we'll start the tool, and again I'm going to increase the playback time so we can get a little bit faster action here. We don't want to sit there at normal speed. And again, as you can see on the right hand side here, the dome, and again it is in replay mode, simulated replay mode. Alright, so this is a demonstration, but this is very representative of what the tool will do for us. All right, as many of us traded this past Friday live. All right, so what we'll do is we'll describe. So at this point, we're going to start looking for an opportunity for this. What the tool is actually doing is looking for an opportunity to sell short. So here's a premium. There's the entry point. Now notice there for a moment. Let me quickly pause that. There was an entry stage there for a moment, and then price continued to move higher. Once price continues to move higher, if it moves outside the parameters of the entry, the order is automatically executed, canceled rather, and it's going to wait for the proper criteria to enter the trade. So let's continue the video here, and we'll just let it run here a little bit. Okay, there's a premium, there's your entry. Okay, let me quickly stop that. So it gave us a premium signal, and it automatically executed us in here at looks like about 29.25. All right, price popped back up quickly. It stages our stops, and it stages a risk-free point. So in this case, it'll be total of 3 contracts, risk-free at this lower level here at 27.25, and then it stages additional target 1 and target 2 contracts to exit. So let's continue with the video. Okay, there's another re-signal on the premium, but we are already in a trade. Okay, and then selling starting to come in.
Order filled.
Okay, let me quickly pause it. We went to the risk-free point here. Okay, now what happens is we also have a setting here where we go auto break even. So what does that mean? That means is that once price reaches the risk-free point, okay, the original stop is then moved to the entry point. All right, now this is an option. All right, for those of you that like to get to the break-even level as quickly as possible, this is a good option. For those of you that want to trail a little bit more loosely, okay, there's an option in here in the settings to disable that feature. But for this one, we have auto break-even enabled, and what that simply means is if price comes back up to the entry point, it will get stopped out. All right, so let's just continue on with the vid here. Okay, now one thing I want to highlight here, when we're in a trade already, all right, if there is a new signal that is generated as it's developing here right at the moment, it will not take that new signal unless the prior trade setup, the open trade, has been closed. Okay, so that is a feature. It won't duplicate trades or double on top of each other trades. It has to exit the first sequence before capturing another sequence. Okay, so we'll see how this runs. Okay, so we almost got stopped out on that initial. All right, we almost got stopped out on that initial setup there. All right, but again, the auto break even trailing stop had us protected there. And then, as you can see, we had a few more premiums developed, but again, the algorithm did not take those trades. All right, and we got stopped. We got our target one filled. Now, at this point, what you can do, all right, is you can manually move the stop tighter. All right, let's just say to the break-even level here, the entry point at 27th quarter. So the easiest way to do that is simply highlight the level, all right, from which you want to move the stop. Okay, right-click, and then just here it says Set Stop. So when you click on Set Stop, it'll actually move the stop right down to the entry price. Okay, so that is a feature that which we've added. Our traders like that feature. Okay, and we'll just finish off this sequence, and we'll see what happens on the next sequence. So let's just let it run here. Again, remember, the setup has to fully complete, so we're open on one contract position, and we have a limit buy-in at 23 quarter. All right, that needs to get exited first.
Order filled.
Okay, so we got stopped out, all right, at break even. Okay, so now that sequence is over. Now what it'll do, since we're in continuous mode, it'll search for the very next setup, and it'll once the criteria is valid, it will automatically execute it. So let's take a quick look. Here's
Order filled.
Okay, there was the entry. Here's a new entry and staged of a stop order, risk-free, and target 1. In this case, again, we have 3 contracts, and again, equal increments, 25%, 25%, and 25%. Okay, we'll see what the market does for us on this sequence, and we'll end there. Let me just speed it up just a touch.
Order filled.
Okay, so stops do occur. All right, stops do occur. In this particular case, we entered valid trade setup, and price popped back up, okay, to stop us out. And again, that is part of the methodology. It protects us. And I believe there is one more sequence here. There's the last sequence that we'll go over for this video. All right, automatic entry. And again, let me just make one point here before I go on. That many traders have difficulty once they get stopped out taking the very next trade. That's a valid trade setup. Right? Every trader out there in the world has, at some point in time in their trading career, has that issue. All I can say is if you're, executing any methodology, whether it's using an auto trade or manually, right? If the methodology has a definable edge, right? The best thing to do is continue to take valid trade setups. I can't stress that enough. That is an issue with many people, and again, we understand why. But we really want to make sure that we continue to take those valid trades. All right, so we're in a new trade, right? And again, it automatically put us in there, so there's no question. There's a risk-free. There's our auto break even. Okay, here at the 26 quarters. Again, it's there to protect us.
Order filled.
Okay, so we're going to stop the video here. It's about 17 minutes on this demo video. As you can see, this is how the tool functions. Okay, and again, it gets us into a valid trade setup. There will be occasional stop outs, absolutely. All right, and we do expect it. But once we have some price momentum directionally, all right, the tool will get us into our trade automatically, and it'll automatically stage our exits. And again, all those parameters between max dollar risk, right, the type and style of entry, are all predetermined by the trader ahead of time. Once the algorithm is preset with the inputs, okay, you just simply enable the tool and let it do its job. Okay. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this pre-release video of the auto trade tool for NinjaTrader. The expectation is we're shooting for the December 1st release of this particular tool for the Ninja platform. And for any additional information, if you have any interest in this, please drop me a line. You can either, best way to reach me is simply email me at david@polaris-trading-group.com. Come visit us on our website, polaris-trading-group.com. Also, when you're there on the website, feel free to join up for a free trial. We give a 2-week free trial, and you can take a look at how we use our tool daily in our trading room. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for your attendance in watching it, and I hope you've enjoyed it, and we hope to see you soon. Have a great one, and take care.